Jai Sri Paramahamsa Sachidananda Yogi Ishwara. Please excuse my voice, it's not at its best. Let me enter into the chapter 2, where our Swamiji talks about overcoming the grief, particularly about the death, right? Swami says, death is sure to come. There is no rich and poor distinction in death. So what Swami says here is, whiling away the time is of no use. Just sitting and talking about somebody who died and grieving is not going to gain you anything. It's not going to get you anywhere at all. It is what it is. So what Swami says is, he is not saying not to grieve, not to do the rites, rituals, etc. Please understand it carefully. What he says is, once the person dies, it is the natural phenomenon. It is a process. So one has to understand that and realize the real nature of it. All right? So only after a person has come to our family as a newborn, we know it is he or she is ours. And until then, do we really know previously what he or she was? Or after the death, do we know what is going to happen? It's all an illusion, right? So according to Swami, death means migration of imperishable soul from one to another. So for the one who understood this nature of self, that is nothing but self-realization, that burns off all the karma, is what Swami says. So according to Swami again, the Jivatma is nothing but a Paramatma encased in a matter. For those who listen to the first episode of it, you will really know how to distinguish between Paramatma and Jivatma now, right? So hence then that ignorance is what makes us believe there is birth and death. In reality, Sat meaning eternal existence. Asat is perishable. There cannot be an exchange that can happen between these two. So Sat is an eternal existence, is nothing but our Atman, Sutta Chaitanya, ever existing in a blissful state, joyful state. Joy is its nature. Being blissful is its nature. Asat is a perishable, all our wealth, relations, love, life, lust, body, everything for that matter. So, Sat is the Paramatman. Asat is the objective world which is destroyable. Whatever is destroyable are Asat. So, I think we are very clear about the Paramatma, Jivatma differences now, right? And let's get into subtle more differences. Paramatma is a cause of creation and destruction of the universe. Jivatma is a fragment of that source Paramatman. Same that pervades all, as affected by Maya, designated as Jivatman. It's such a beautiful statement here. So the Jivatman is also, as we all know, it's a spark, it's a little speck of Paramatman. The example, if you can recall now from the first episode, is like one sun. Under that you keep 10 pots of water, all the reflections of suns from the source of the sun, right? So the main sun is the Paramatman, and all the reflections of the sun in the pots, different pots, are the Jivatman. So you can connect the dots here. So Jivatman is the same that pervades all, but a little bit affected by Maya, and then designated as Jivatma. So Maya here is avidya, ajnana. Avidya is like not knowing. Ajnana is again ignorance, basically. So Paramatma is free from Maya, and hence Paramatma undergoes no change whatsoever. Here, under the Maya, under the Maya's influence, it is subjected to birth and death, and thus called Jivatma. So here, we need to be very careful. As per the English book, the statements are very simple, and it may even be overlooked without getting into the deeper understanding of it. Let me give an example from the Jiva Brahmaikya Vedanta Rakashyam in Tamil or Kannada book. Classic examples, many different examples have given about what is Maya, what is illusion, how can I really understand, what are the examples. A great one is something that I've learned elsewhere as well. Let's say, for example, one wants a product, like for example, let's say an iPhone 14, the latest iPhone, and you start saving money, and your mind is all about going to the Apple store and buying that iPhone, isn't it? So you're always thinking about it. So what happens here, listen it carefully. The Atman, which is ever pure and always joyful and in the blissful state, because of your thoughts, right? Your mind is nothing but a collection of thoughts, correct? We have seen this earlier again. So this bundle of thoughts has taken you away from your Atman and making you run around behind something. And yes, you save the money and you are about to go and buy the phone. Today is the D-Day. So you went to the Apple store, you built it, and you got the phone in hand. Suddenly, you feel so joyful and so happy. That moment, you really, next time when it happens to you, you connect this example and think about it. It will make a lot of difference to you. So the moment you have the product that you want, it may be iPhone or it may be a jewelry or whatever it is, right? So if you get that in hand, you feel kind of a happiness. That happiness is certainly not because of you got what you wanted. 100% not. It is because your thoughts, right? Your mind is gone back to the Atman and settled. Because your mind is not wandering about anything. You just got what you wanted. And the mind settles in Atman. The Atman's, the real nature, that blissfulness, that happiness is what you're experiencing there. It is not because of the phone or the jewelry that you got in hand. Just close your eyes and recall this example once again. You will understand what I'm saying. If there is any questions, feel free to put this back as a question. All right? So you may ask, so when I got the product and my happiness is back and my mind has gone back to an Atman, then why again I'm suffering? Yes, because we are not settling there. Again, we have another desire. Your mind comes away, again starts running behind something else. That moment of happiness is gone. After the 4 or 5 days of the iPhone or jewelry, you are no more bothered about it. Because that is not your eternal happiness, isn't it? Now you are going behind something else. I want to buy a villa there. I want to do this. I want to look for that car. A new car has been released. Kia is there. Maruti is there. I want to sell my very old car and go for a new one. Of course, again, your mind is wandering. And we are going behind the illusionary Maya world. So you could now connect the dots, right? What exactly is the Maya? Why people call Maya as an illusion? So these are the ups and downs always that we are going through. So what Swamy says here, Kadappai Sri Paramahamsa Sachidananda Yogi Ishvara says, understand the true self. Right? He is not saying leave all these things and live a sannyasi life. That is not what he is preaching. Definitely not. What he says is, understand the real nature. What you are thinking is true nature of happiness today is not the truth. You are running behind something and believing something as the truth, but the real truth is within you. It is in your Atman. If that self-realization comes, that process is going to burn out all your Purva Janma karmas. This is what Swami promises us. So the analogy again about the Paramatma is like a pure gold, which how many ever the time you melt it and burn it, it is not going to lose its charm, the shine or weight or whatever it is. However, the mixed gold, the impure gold is like our Jivatman. You need to, how do you make it the Paramatman? How do you make it pure gold? You first burn all the spiritual ignorance and then identify itself with Paramatman, slowly and gradually be ready, right? And again, I'm connecting the dots from where I started about the death. The Swami then says, hence the death of kinsmen is one such ignorance itself. So you slowly and steadily try to walk away from the ignorance. Thereby, you will realize the Sutta Chaitanya. Your mind will settle in Atman. Thank you very much for listening.